Hey gang, my name's Demir Bentley from the Lifehack Method. This video is going to be the first in a series that I'm just going to be calling Get Real. And in this series, I'm just going to be digging into topics and products and ideas that frankly piss me off. And before we jump into it, this video is sponsored by Lifehack Tribe. Stick around to the end of the video to learn how to try out Lifehack Tribe for just $1 for one whole week. Okay, let's hop into it. I get served an ad on Facebook all the time, and that really pisses me off. It reads, the average CEO reads 52 books a year. Do you know why that really pisses me off? Two reasons. First, because the average CEO does not read 52 books a year. And I'm saying that as somebody who coaches a ton of CEOs. In fact, most of the CEOs I work with complain that they haven't been able to stretch out and read a book in over 5 years, let alone 52 books a year. I mean, just think about it logically and you realize they're busy people, some of the busiest people in the world. And if they're being coached by me, they've probably got too much going on already to even think about reading a book. Now, I'm not saying they don't read anything. Obviously, they read a lot of papers, portions of books, and maybe some CEOs find all that time, but the average CEO certainly does not, and I'll stand by that. But let's leave that aside for a second. What really pisses me off is the implication that if you did read 52 books a year, you'd be successful too, just like the average CEO. And this is a dangerous idea, and it's not new. And the idea is that being well-read is some golden ticket to success. And the only reason you're not the person that you want to be is that you're not reading enough. So just read more personal development books, and you're bound to be successful, right? This makes it sound like the transitive property of if A, therefore B is applying here. If you read more personal development books, you will be more successful. But is that actually true? I mean, gang, just on its face, it's clearly not true. Because we all know people. In some cases, we are that person who has consumed a ton of personal development content in the form of books and blogs and courses, and they ain't got shit to show for it. Newsflash, you cannot ingest success through books. There's no word count that equals success. I can't believe I even have to explain this, but clearly this is something that has its claws in our culture and in our collective brain. So let's break it down for a second. There's two main reasons that reading tons of books is not going to be a golden ticket to success. Reason number one, the best information in life is experiential. It comes from experience and it comes from practice. You probably want an example, right? Okay. If you don't have kids, but you read 52 books a year on parenting, would you then be eligible to coach people on how to be a great parent to their kids? No! In fact, every parent on the planet would laugh you out of the room if you even proposed it, because being a good parent is fundamentally something you can only master through the lived experience of being a parent. Sure, books help. Idea exchange helps a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's the icing, not the cake. The same goes for marriage too. Married people would laugh at you if you told them that you were an expert on their marriage just because you read 52 books on the topic, even if you were single. Now, the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus had a quote that I just love on this. It reads, "Books are the training weights of the mind. They are very helpful, but it would be a bad mistake to suppose that one has made progress simply by having internalized their contents." Gang, the most powerful and profound skills in life cannot be learned in a book. They have to be experienced. Leadership, you can read about it, but you have to go do it to master it. Relationships, physical mastery of a sport or an instrument, discipline, grit, teamwork. These are all things that can be read about, but they can't truly be mastered unless you go out and get in the game and experience them. And what just frankly pisses me off about the cult of books is that it's a convenient way for people to stay on the sidelines of their own life instead of stepping into the game, because that's where the best lessons are residing. Now, reason number two, and I think the most damning reason of all, the net result of too much information through books is actually inaction. Gang, when you put too many ideas into your brain, you are confusing yourself. And we're already bombarded with more ideas than we can handle. If you read 1,000 books on self-development, 250 are going to tell you to go up, 250 are going to tell you to go down, 250 are going to tell you to go left, and 250 are going to tell you to go right. So the net effect of reading those 1,000 books isn't clarity or direction like you think it is. It's actually confusion and inaction. And I see this happening with so many of my clients. They've got too many ideas in their head. And that's not coming from me. The Stoic philosophers of old pondered this exact idea. Is it better to consume as much information as possible or just the right content mindfully? And they had a very clear opinion. You're better off reading a few books a lot of times rather than a lot of books all the time. Seneca said, desultory reading is delightful, but to be beneficial, our reading must be carefully directed. Just quick translation. He's just saying, hey, listen, wide reading might feel good, but if you really want to get results, you need to truly direct what goes into your brain. And then, remember what Epictetus said, go out and actually do that stuff. Seneca thought that you should find a few books, just a few thinkers that were truly profound and who you truly wanted to emulate and reread those again and again. And I love that idea so much. My personal target, you don't have to share this, I read 5 nonfiction books a year, 3 times through. I don't just want to read the book. I want to welcome the book into my subconscious. I want to have it penetrate into my psyche. I want to get that knowledge into the depths of my DNA. Quick example, I have read The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan 15 times. 15 times. It's become part of how I think. It's become penetrated into my subconscious. Now, if that sounds good to you, here's a breakdown of how I read a book 3 times through. The first time I read it, just pleasure. I just want to enjoy it, right? I'm reading a sentence for the first time. I'm just having my mind blown, enjoying the style of the author, the new ideas. The second read through is about absorbing the content. At the end of each chapter, I write a chapter summary. Now, I'm not rewriting the whole chapter. What I'm trying to do is force myself to regurgitate the ideas from memory so that I can commit the ideas to memory. And in the third pass, what I'm doing is at the end of each chapter, I'll stop and take notes on how I have to make changes or take action in my life in order to make this a reality in my life. I mean, the point of reading something is to turn it into action, right? So this is a different kind of note-taking. I'm not asking myself to recap, I'm actually relating it back to myself and asking where I need to take action. And this is big, right? This is a step I think almost everybody skips. Okay, natural follow-up question. How do you choose which books you should actually read in the flood of incoming books, all of which people say are so essential to read? How do you decide? Well, I have a very simple system. I just wait for 3 people I tremendously respect to recommend it, and then it goes on my reading list. That doesn't mean I'm going to read it. It just means that 3 people I tremendously respect need to recommend it for it even to get onto the potential list. And by the way, tremendously respect can be anyone, whether I know them personally or not. It could be my favorite podcaster, maybe it's just my wife. Now, once I've heard that a book has been recommended 3 times, it goes on the short list because clearly the people I admire most like that enough to pass it along. Okay, guys, let's take a minute to talk about today's sponsor, Lifehack Tribe. Lifehack Tribe is a monthly membership program that we created for those of you who are feeling overwhelmed, overworked, and just generally disorganized. Each month in Tribe, we host a bunch of awesome live calls, in-depth trainings, pre-planning sessions where we actually pre-plan our month together, Ask Me Anything coaching, and just so much more. It's a productivity coaching program for people looking to live their best life. We support each other to create our highest levels of accountability and productivity, not because that's inherently good, but in order to build the kind of life that nobody else gets to have. Now, I'm offering our viewers a pretty sweet deal right now. If you sign up using the link below, you'll get your first week in Tribe for just $1. So if you're ready to get it together and create the freedom lifestyle, click the link in the description below to learn more. Okay, guys, thank you for making it to the end of this video. Thank you for listening to my rant. Now I want to hear from you. I want to hear you rant. Am I the only one who gets pissed off at this culture of all reading all the time and no action? Who else can't stand the cult of 52 books a year? Who thinks this is yet another impossible standard that somehow we're all expected to live up to? Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm asking you, demolish me in the comments, but I just want to hear your honest opinion. Now remember, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're obsessed with human potential and living your best life like we are, consider subscribing to this channel and joining our journey to complete lifestyle freedom. See you in that next video.